Lord Grimthorpe, Teddy, it's a huge 5 days of racing at Royal Ascot, and Prince Khaled Abdullah's team is quite sizable.
Yeah, we've got some exciting prospects coming to Ascot this week.
Let's have a look at the Queen Anne first, and Frankel, the highest rated horse in the world, goes round. How's he come back?
He's come back brilliantly after the lock-ins at Newbury. Was very pleased with himself after the race. I think it did a lot of good. He had, as you know, he had a slight setback before the race and missed about 10 days, but he came back really well. After lock-in, he was absolutely fine, and his work has been very straightforward, and he's pleased everyone.
Is the ground going to be an issue for him?
I don't think so, no. He's by Galileo, he's by Sadler's Wells, so that sort of takes care of the soft ground aspect. He's won on softish ground, or soft ground, before, so I don't see that would worry him.
In the King's Stand, the sprint race over the 6 furlongs, you've got bated breath, Roger Charlton's horse, and he was impressive in the Temple.
Yeah, he was. Broke the course record there, and he did it really nicely. Travelled very strongly throughout the race, and really won in a course record.
Is he a possibility to back up in the Jubilee?
Yes, I would think. Again, we'd have to see how the ground is. If the ground got too soft, he doesn't want it too soft. We know that. So I think we'd have to look at that quite carefully, and certainly. Our first option was the King's Stand, really, because if you break a course record over 5 furlongs, why wouldn't you go back and try and win a Grade 1 over 5 furlongs? But certainly the Golden Jubilee, he ran really well in it last year, and so that would be a good backup if the ground was good for that. Looking
beyond that, is the July Cup on the radar for him?
Yeah, very much so. I think we'd look at the July Cup, probably the Grimthorpe York. Possibly then either the Haydock Sprint or even the Prix de la Baie.
Looking ahead to the St James Palace, you've got the Nile, who was a very impressive maiden winner last start.
A second last start. He bolted up in a polytrack maiden, and we were very, very pleased with him. I mean, he did it nicely. Then ran second in a listed, 7 furlong listed at Newmarket. And it probably was just a little bit too short for him, and so he stepped back up to a mile. And I think we're stepping into the unknown with him, and he's got to improve a great deal to shake a Group 1. But the way he's progressed has been very pleasing.
You must have quite an opinion of him now to step him up in that sort of class.
Yeah, John likes him, and he's always had a good opinion of him. So I think this is probably the year in terms of the sort of milers, are so far underexposed, I think you could say. But so I think we're taking a shot.
Looking at the Hardwick Sea Moon, he looks a really progressive type.
Yep. We really like him. He was very impressive when he won the Great Voltager at York in August. Didn't get the run of the race in the St Leger. Ran a huge race in the Breeders' Cup turf behind St Nicholas Abbey, and he began his campaign. He's a bit rusty at Goodwood in a listed, but again he's progressed really well from there. And of course he'll need to, but the Hardwick looks like a nice spot to take him to.
Dermot Wells saddles up Emulous, and she looks a really talented type.
Yeah, she is. I think she's a pretty high-class filly all round, and she showed that at the end of last year when she won the Matron Stakes, the Group 1 at Leopardstown, beat a lot of high-class fillies there. Came out of the Curragh this time, won a Group 3, carrying a penalty, but won it pretty comfortably, and we have to be very pleased and positive about her chances in the Windsor Forest.
Model pupil in the King Edward on Friday over the 2400.
Yep. We sort of hummed and hawed about whether he might be a Derby horse at one stage. He ran second in the Derby trial in the Chester Vase. He just got chinned out of it. Probably we thought he's not a terribly impressive horse at home, so he's a hard one to read. But in races, when the going gets tough, he's a battler.
Sir Henry saddles up Noble Mission.
Yeah, Frankel's brother, Noble Mission. Luckily, I don't think he knows that. But again, he won a listed race at Newmarket, then got beat, and again we had him the sort of Derby on the radar. He was a bit. I say a bit disappointing. He didn't. He needed to won his next listed race. He was giving weight to the winner. He gave £5 to the winner for not. It wasn't beaten that far. So from that point of view, it was no disgrace. But again, he's got to step up pretty much.
We're obviously all looking forward to Frankel, and I think we're probably expecting him to win. But is there another horse we can really keep an eye out for as
I think
Carnival?
Of ours, Emilis, I think would be. I'd be pretty positive about her.
Of course, we haven't seen you have a runner down in the Cox Plate or the Melbourne Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the year we might see something?
I think that Prince Khalid always likes me to look at these races, and I think the most important thing is to try and find the right horse. It's in terms of the time of year, where the horse is at, where we're at with the horses in terms of whether they're going to Stardale, etc., etc. So I think given all the right circumstances, we'd really love to bring a horse, but we want to bring something good enough.
Best of luck for us.
Thank you.